What's up, family? So, if you find yourself an individual that you have a dream, a goal that God has placed on your heart, but for whatever reason you feel stuck, you feel frustrated, you feel like you're procrastinating, you may feel like days and months and weeks they go by without you, pushing the needle and getting closer and closer and closer to doing the work, right? This video is for you. And one of the things that I thought about is the parallels or similarities between an athlete and an entrepreneur. Now, if you don't find yourself in that space where you were a former athlete, I get it. I want you to think back into a time and space and period where you were successful at doing something. It could have been a club that you were a part of at your school. It could have been something that you did as a hobby. It could have been something that you did in college. It could have been something you did as a young adult. But it was whatever you were successful at. For many men, we did sports, okay? We were successful at said sport, right? Or we just at least learned what we need to learn to decide what it takes to be a good athlete, right? So with that being said, an athlete has to make sure that they're just not going to practice or just showing up to the workouts for the team. If you are a starter on your team and you're playing a sport, you're doing extra work. You're taking care of your body, getting the proper sleep, nutrition. You're working out to make sure you're strong. You're doing another workout to work on your skill set. That might entail needing a trainer. If you don't have the resources, you go out and you try to figure it out on your own. There's some guys that just simply figured it out, or they figured it out with mom or dad or uncle. But you're doing the extra work. That extra work is considered homework. Let's say you were a musician, you played music. You're learning your scales, you're learning theory, you're actually playing, you're practicing a song. And these are the things that you're doing before you go to practice, before you go to rehearsal. Now, for my athletes, when you show up to practice, you have to have in your mind that practice was not where you're just learning how to play your position or learning your skill set. No. That's where you're auditioning to prove that you are the person fit to start for the job. Practice is where you can either get your job or you can lose it. So you have to constantly do the things outside of practice to make sure that you stay sharp, alert, prepared, and most importantly, gaining the trust of the coaches so they can put you in the game. So whoever is the stars of the game are the people that are doing the most work outside of practice, right? If you play music, it's the same thing. The musicians that stand out, the singers that stand out, they're the ones who are practicing when you don't see them. So when they show up to rehearsal, they already know their music, right? If you were a good student in school, your homework was not just you completing the assignment. It was you studying for a better understanding, not just to get the grade, but so when you go in front of the teacher and you present the project, be it science fair or group project, whatever it was, you showed a grasp of understanding of said subject, so much to the point where you can actually teach your peers. That comes from the work that people don't see. So as we're seeing, parallels or similarities in every space. 3 examples: one of the athlete, the musician, and the student. And I know all of you fall into one of these categories. You could have been a dancer, whatever it was. You learned that the work that I do outside helps me get to where I need to go, but in practice, I have to show up prepared. Then I can go to the game and perform well and do what I need to do. All right. So fast forward, you're now an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur. One of the reasons why you're frustrated on your journey and you don't know what to do is simply because, number one, you have to get good at doing good work. You have to get good at doing good work. One of my kids are crying, so if they come down here crying, please understand he's just going to be a part of the video. You have to be good at doing good work, okay? Doing good work in my business means, can I provide a good shape up without pushing someone's hairline back, without cutting their skin? What do my clients consider a good shape up? What does it look like? What is the steps? What are the different, skin types that I'm gonna deal with based on if it's high humidity, if the, environment is dry? What do I need to do? What are the steps I need to follow? How do I prepare the skin? All of these things go into doing what most would consider being a simple job. How do I provide a good haircut, a fade, whatever the service is? There's work outside that I need to do. So whatever your industry is, you have to be good at doing good work. That's one of the first rules. Another thing that you might want to do outside before you start serving people is identify, who do you serve? Who is your ideal client? Most people in business, they have an idea of who they want to serve. One thing they're not clear on is who is the ideal person that prefers them, that's looking for them. Who is that person? What's their age group? Are they male or female? Do they have families? Do they have children? What are their preferences? You'll be surprised the difference between who you want to serve and the people that are looking for your service. You'll be surprised. And there are certain things that you need to do to identify who that person is. So finally, when it's time to advertise or look to serve that person, you'll know the right location to serve in. You'll know the right ad to put up. You'll know the right target audience that you're looking for, the people who you want to see your ads. You'll know the perfect person to use for your testimonials so it can attract the person just like them. This is all pre-work. Some of you are not, doing well in your business because you don't know what you're doing. You just don't know how to go about finding the right client. You don't know how to just show up in your own market space. Being able to pivot when everything is not comfortable. Example, we've had a lot of rainy days. So the kids are preparing for their season. If they don't do good at this part of the season, this is not even preseason yet. This is the part of the season where they're working out, getting their body ready for the grind. They're not going to have what they need within them in the season. They're not. So they had a rain day. The stars and starters all found places to go work out. They found places where they can get work in. So they're not falling off. Because they know they have work that needs to get done. In your business, whenever, a curveball is thrown at you, are you sitting at home, pouting, saying, hey, I don't have the money for advertising, so I'm just not going to go promote my business today? No. You're going to find a way to promote your business, even though you might not have the money to advertise. You might get in your car. You might go to area and introduce yourself. You might go to different, free events, mixers, happy hours, and introduce yourself. It's a day to make money, and your normal spot is shut down. You'll get creative and find somewhere to go to do the work that you need to do to handle your business. One of the mistakes that people make is they look at the resources that other people have and they compare themselves to those people, not realizing that at some point they had to build themselves up to that standard that you now have for your business. They built themselves up to that point. As to whereas you You don't want to go through what it takes to start. Somebody might see that I went live and only one person watched the video. Somebody might see that I posted an ad and only people that liked it was my mom and my sister and my brother. Somebody might see that I'm promoting my efforts, but I'm not making a lot of motion. I'm not getting a lot of traction with this thing. Maybe you just might be too comfortable to whereas you feel embarrassed if you don't get enough support. Versus the person that says, if it's to be, it's up to me. No matter what, I'm going to promote this thing. Some people might not like your post, but they're going to buy your product. Simply because you said, buy. Some people won't support you until they need you. That is the object of a product. Just like with sports or music and those things. People say it's an unfair world. It's unfair. It's unfair. But that athlete, that musician has to prepare themselves for the moment where it's their time. They have to trust the process until it's their time to be on display. Is it not the same with business? You may have someone in your industry that does not mean his or her clients the best. They might not care to provide the best service or even the best quality to their clients. And you may have it in your heart to provide the best service, the best client, the best service and product to your clients. Okay. You have to work it until it starts working for you. Allow them to see that you're consistent. Allow them to see that you're not going nowhere. But also go out and collect wins. Go out and just start serving people. Stop trying to make it so comfortable for yourself. Go out and find a community, a tribe, where you can just recharge. Dedicate yourself to that discipline. Dedicate yourself to just doing that thing every day. I can remember building my clientele. I would just focus on one cut at a time, trying to make that haircut the best that I possibly could. And I can remember the barbershop owner complaining that, Charles, you cut too slow. And I remember it like it was yesterday, because what the owner didn't know is every haircut was my business card. So I'm cutting slow for a reason, because I'm having faith that because of the work that I did on this one cut, it's going to attract someone else to my chair. Be it someone out in public that says, hey, who cut your hair? Or even better, someone who's waiting in the shop already. And they like, oh, well, main man can cut. I'll just have him cut me. So I was taking my time to prove myself so it can attract other people who may want the same care, the same concern, the same, eye that I was given versus rushing through. You know what I mean? That was my strategy. Until this day, if I rush one of my clients, they'll get mad at me. They'll get mad because my business is literally built on taking my time and giving people what they need. Literally. So look at it as you're building an identity for your business, your services, what you do, and how you serve people. You're literally building an identity, and you can't stop early. You can't stop early, cut yourself short before people can see what the identity is. They have to be able to see it, get used to it. I'll show you an example. Used car. You know their model if you're in the DMV because you know the song. At Eastern Motors, your job's you got it right, credit. They were consistent over the years where in the beginning it was funny. In the beginning it was like, who buying their car from Eastern Motors? Now it's like, yeah, man, I just got me a junk from Eastern Motors. My man, you know what I'm saying, he work over there, whoop-de-whoop. they were consistent enough where it started off as something that might not be, preferable, and it matured into something that, oh man, that's a nice car. You said you got it from Easton's? That's what's up. They were patient enough to understand that the work works. You just got to do it. All right. So this video is a little longer than what I wanted it to be, but I hope and pray that it has helped somebody. Somebody need to hear this message, and that's why I posted it. So I love you guys. Understand that there are parallels in everything that we do. If you didn't hear anything else I said, I'll just say this to you to make it short and simple. All right. Look, you've already wanted something in your life. Just because you're at a different point in your life doesn't mean that it requires you to be stressed out, scared to move forward. Deal with whatever you got to deal with, move forward, and understand you already won before. You're already a winner. Do the work and trust the process. I'm out.